Let's talk a little bit about some of the problems that are the real issues at the Hollywood Beach Resort today. Let's really revert back and let's go to the basics for a minute. Let's talk about the basics of the Hollywood Beach Resort. Now, it starts with the name of our association. It's called the Hollywood Beach Hotel Owners Association. The word hotel is in there for a reason. We are a resort hotel. Every person purchased their unit for one reason or another. But when they purchased it, they accepted a deed and they acknowledged they would live by the condominium declarations and documents. And once you get past the fact that we're a hotel, now we have to realize the Hotel Owners Association exists to protect the property, which is the Hollywood Beach Resort Hotel. Now, every unit owner, or almost every unit owner, depends upon rental revenue generated by renting the units within the hotel. Whether you're on the hotel rental program, or now the hotel rental programs, or if you rent your unit yourself. At the end of the day, you are trying to get rental revenue to help offset your cost of ownership. This is how it is at the Hollywood Beach Resort. We have almost 400 owners, two of which were the Ocean Walk Mall, which up until recent years was owned by one entity. That entity owned our swimming pool area, the area behind the association, the hotel, as well as the first and second floor. Today, that same property is owned by three different entities. One entity owns the property behind our building, which includes our pool area. Another entity owns the first floor, and another entity owns the second floor. The New York mall owner, Mr. Ben Heller, owns or controls those entities on the first floor and the pool area. And the Fisher family owns the second floor. Now, the Fisher family also purchased the air rights above our hotel. And whether it surprises you or not, there's another entity, the garage owner, that owns the land around and in front of our building. So the reality of life at the Hollywood Beach Resort is this. We're a building that is nothing more than a footprint in the sand on Hollywood Beach. We have no parking. We do not own the parking. We have no swimming pool. We do not own the swimming pool. We do not own the air above our building. We own from the roof of our building to the basement of our building and from the walls inward. And we're situated on Hollywood Beach. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details in today's video because I really want to talk about cooperation. And that's my topic today, cooperation. When I arrived at the Hollywood Beach Resort many years ago, cooperation did not exist. My goal was to create an environment where cooperation was the cornerstone of our property. We had timeshare management, we had a hotel management, we had condo management, and we had the mall management all fighting with each other. Again, I'm not going to go back into the history of this video other than to say we need cooperation. And why do I say that today? Well, I'll give you a couple of examples. The first floor mall owner just evicted us from the concierge desk, which has been on the first floor common area, part of the easement agreement, since 1986, actually. And the concierge desk is more of an amenity for the owners and owners' guests, whether on or off the hotel program, whether you rent or don't rent your unit. The concierge, a lot of you know Joey and the other guys, they provide guest services for arriving guests, for arriving owners. They help carry your luggage, your groceries, or whatever. They're there to serve you, the owner, and the guest. They don't care what hotel program you're on, whether it be SG Resorts or Design Suites. They don't care if you're a renter from a individual unit owner. Their sole mission is to make a good guest experience. Maybe to even make some tips off the guests. Now, cooperation would come in today more so than ever because the concierge desk was critical to warn arriving guests that their cars were going to be booted by the garage owner if they take longer than 30 minutes to register at the hotel. Well, it often takes longer than 30 minutes because sometimes we have as many as 140 or 150 guests checking in and checking out at the same time. And when you combine that with the fact that the front desk was also servicing guests for Design Suites and individual unit owners and the timeshare, the wait could be longer. And it could be even longer when the fact that the elevators don't work. Sometimes took 15 or 18 minutes just to get an elevator. So this is where cooperation comes in. How does it hurt the first floor owner to allow us to have the concierge desk where it was since 1987? How does it hurt him? It actually benefits him because it helps everybody. Every arriving guest is welcomed by the concierge and directed to the appropriate place. So I asked the first floor owner, what was the purpose of driving the concierge desk out of its area, the area that it's been in since 1987? And I do know the mall manager kept saying SG Resorts was checking in guests and making money. And I mean, it's just total bullshit. I have a whole briefcase full of emails trying to plead with the mall owner, trying to explain how wrong their management is. And to no avail. Well, the concierge desk is gone now after all these years. And it just adds to another problem that we have. And I ask you, I told you once before, do an experiment, a self-experiment. Go pay somebody $150 a night, and then come to the hotel, park your car, and try to register at a peak time. See if your car gets booted. Just see what our guests experience. The long wait for elevators if they're working. We have no working elevators right now after the most recent fire that took place at Ocean Walk Mall. The air conditioners, most of the units have portable units inside the units because the air conditioning doesn't work in the building. If you walk the first and second floor, the most horrific conditions. You have a deserted, dilapidated food court with an escalator that hasn't worked in 30 years. You have closed off sections both on the first and second floor. You had over 150 light bulbs burnt out that my son's company replaced many in the front of the space that it rents. Go to the second floor and turn to your right when you get off the glass elevators and walk down and be overtaken by the stink, the smell of mold and mildew, as a direct result of the air conditioners that they're too cheap to fix. And the same thing holds true on the first floor. Look up. Look up at the missing ceiling tiles and the rats running through the ceiling. You have the farmer's market out on the corner that stores all of its fruit and vegetables in our building. Tell me that doesn't attract rats and rodents. The smell coming from the first floor food court area, you don't know if it's a dead body or a dead rat or what have you. You see extermination traps with poison everywhere. The rats eat it and then they go die somewhere and then the stink is horrific. This is what we have at the Hollywood Beach Resort today, and this is why I'm running for the board. I don't want this to continue. If you read the condominium declarations, as a board, we have the ability to go in and clean up the mall, both mall areas, and charge that cost back to the mall owner. And if they don't pay, we can foreclose on them and get responsible mall owners in that'll work with the association in a joint venture to improve our property. We're dominated by the mall vote, and we're dominated by the mall's inability to do anything. And now Schecher came and promised the world and delivered nothing. The second floor is in worse condition today than it's ever been, as is the first floor. You have basically no acceptable public restrooms anywhere. You have filth building up on filth. You have no guest experience, and we're facing high season again. We have broken elevators that don't work. We have hallways that need to be cleaned. And we have problem after problem, compounded now by Andrew Schecher trying to turn our hotel property into a college dormitory. And I ask you, how stupid is this? We're going into high season where we historically have always been able to capture or recapture the revenues and to pay off everybody and everything. And now we're faced with 1 month away, no elevators working, no air conditioning, and college dormitory with maybe as many as 4 people to a room, which has got to be against city zoning. Who ever heard of renting a hotel room to 4 unrelated parties? Not only that, they're going to live there for 5 or 6 months. Are you kidding me? 4 unrelated people, even 2 unrelated people living for months in a hotel room? How does that affect the guest experience? Would you want to go to a hotel that doubled as a college dormitory, attracting, probably good kids? But kids are kids. College kids are college kids. They drink, they party, and they have fun. It's what I did when I was in college. And I'm sure a lot of you did that too. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that in a real college dormitory. My grandchildren, my one granddaughter goes to Penn State, and she lives in a college dormitory that is designed, built, and created to be a college dormitory. She doesn't live in a hotel, especially a resort hotel on the beach, converted into a dormitory because of somebody's self-serving agenda that they couldn't wait until high season to recapture their rental revenues. It's got to end, people. We need leadership. We need somebody to step up to the plate and do what's right for everybody at the Hollywood Beach Resort, not just a select few. I think I'm that person. I know my son wants to join me. I've been contacted by several owners that want to join me, and I'm asking you to join me. Let's fix what's wrong with the Hollywood Beach Resort, and it starts with getting qualified leadership. There's a vacancy on the board created by Lana Schecher, who resigned without any notice. After making deals to get put on the board, they resign. Why? What's next what's coming from the Schechers next? I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. I would like Greg Ward to put me on the board right now so I can contribute what I think I can to start fixing what's wrong today and to prove to everybody I can work with anybody, whether it's Greg Ward or Fagundo or anybody. As long as you have the best interest of the Hollywood Beach Resort as your number one priority, I'm behind you, I'm with you, or I'll lead you. And this is what has to happen today. So if you can, give Greg Ward a call. Tell him to put me on the board of directors. If you don't, you don't. But I don't know what else to say. Is we need to end what's happening now. And we need to start focusing on the problems and fixing the problems. And we need to do it now because we're running out of time.